Now at 10, the city of Miami, Oklahoma hosts a town hall meeting to discuss changes to flood maps. Plus, Mercy Hospital celebrates a milestone in its robotic surgery program. And Missouri Southern aims to knock off 10th ranked Nebraska Kearney.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The city of Miami, Oklahoma held a town discussion to allow the community to express their worries about flooding. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Dow Quick. KOAM's Amber Jenkins was at tonight's meeting and spoke to officials about what the city is doing to get answers.
So these are people's homes, these are people's properties, people's farms, and they're being flooded without the right to do that.
Miami has been dealing with flooding for decades due to the state agency GRDA. Now the city is challenging GRDA as the agency seeks to extend its license.
The last one was in 1992. The city wasn't represented at all in that relicensing, so basically GRDA got what they wanted. Well, since then, we've flooded multiple times. And so this time we're going to have a voice in this because we can't allow them to continue to flood us.
The community is seeking answers on why their land is being destroyed by constant flooding. City officials held a discussion to clear misinformation and give the community a voice.
One of the things they're saying is that if we win this, then GRDA is going to come in and kick everybody out of their house and take over their houses and just put them on the streets. Well, it's not true, and you're going to find that out tonight.
The city of Miami has 2 civil litigations against GRDA to hold the agency accountable. The city is willing to cooperate with GRDA, but in a more environmentally friendly route.
There are a lot of operational opportunities here that the GRDA could work with the city on. They could be pre-releasing before water comes, which means you lower the lake levels before we have a high water event.
Community members held signs and wore pins to express their frustrations for solutions.
Yet we just don't seem to have any representation here. And so our citizens don't feel like they have representation. And that this entity, the state agency, is being allowed to damage our properties without the rights to do so.
Reporting in Miami, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
Now, the Grand River Dam Authority disputes the allegation that it's responsible for the flooding. The city is waiting on federal officials to respond to the GRDA's application for license renewal. Meteorologist Sam Lane joins us now with a first look at the weather.
Thank you very much, Dow. It was a cold day across the 4 states, a dramatic change from the day before. Radar is clear right now, but we did have some flurries earlier up towards the north, especially up towards Kansas City. We're expecting temperatures to stay in the 20s and drop down into the teens later on tonight. You can see that most of the day has been in the 20s after the high occurred at midnight. We're going to be seeing temperatures dropping through the 20s all the way down into the upper teens by morning, and it's going to be pretty cold. But we do have some hope on the horizon. A sunny Friday with windy on Saturday and warmer on Sunday, and also a warmer week ahead, and I'll tell you all about that in the forecast coming up in just a little bit.
All right, we'll see you then. Newly elected Southwest Missouri Congressman Eric Burleson visited Joplin today. We spoke to him about a variety of topics, including his position on the Oversight Committee, an investigative body for the federal government.
I was assigned to the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee. That committee allows me to be able to have an active say on our highways, on our railroads, and on our waterways. I'm also on education and workforce development.
Burleson was elected in November to Missouri's 7th District House seat, formerly held by Billy Long. Mercy Hospital Joplin today celebrated a milestone. The hospital has completed 2,000 robotic surgeries. Kansas City University Joplin today gave media a tour of the new College of Dental Medicine. The school will offer a 4-year program that'll be up and running for students by the fall. Officials say students will cover 40 to 50,000 patient visits annually during their schooling. Those patients' visits will feature some state-of-the-art technology.
I'm excited about the interprofessional education that our medical and our dental students will have. And the best interprofessional education will occur in the anatomy course. And they will take anatomy together, they will be dissecting, they'll do dissections together. So they'll learn from the medical school faculty and the dental school faculty.
The first class at the dental school will have 80 students. A park for playing, a park for dreaming. That's the motto for the East Town Dreams District's future home of Hope Park in Joplin. It'll be 2 blocks north of Joe Becker Stadium off historic Route 66. Officials hope the park will inspire, encourage, and remind kids that hope leads to dreaming, dreaming leads to goal setting leads to action, and action leads to self-actualization and productivity.
So I think one of the aspects that is important to point out is going to be the wall we're going to have at the very north end of the property, and that's going to have a wall there that is going to allow kids to illustrate their hopes and dreams on it. So they'll be able to draw like, hey, I want to be a doctor, a lawyer, whatever, draw a picture or whatever, and just kind of put their name by it, let them take pictures of it and capture that.
The park will have an interactive wall of dreams alongside the north area to showcase kids' dreams and recognize their partners' generosity. The district is looking for help for fundraising efforts to finish construction. Coming up, President Biden addresses the nation on the recent actions to bring down several objects in U.S. airspace. Plus, a look at the Labor Department's latest jobs report. The head of the EPA today says air monitoring has not detected any levels of health concerns in East Palestine and Ohio, the scene of the toxic train derailment. CBS News has learned that some of Norfolk Southern, the railroad operator's employees, had previously expressed concern over the excessive size and weight of that 151-car train. They say it had suffered at least one breakdown on its route before it derailed in East Palestine. President Biden addressed the nation today about the objects recently shot down by the U.S. military. The series of shoot-downs followed a takedown earlier this month of a Chinese spy balloon that flew across the U.S. Nicole D'Antonio has the latest from the White House.
President Biden says the intelligence community's latest assessment is that the mystery object shot down over the U.S. and Canadian airspace most likely belonged to private research or recreational companies.
We don't yet know exactly what these 3 objects were, but nothing right now suggests they were related to China's spy balloon program or that they were surveillance vehicles from any other country.
The president says a team is working on sharper rules to distinguish between these objects and those that may threaten safety and security.
Make no mistake, if any object presents a threat to the safety and security of the American people, I will take it down.
The president's remarks Thursday came amid calls for him to explain the recent drama in U.S. airspace.
This is the first time in American history, 65 years since NORAD was set up, that we've shot anything down, not to mention 3 things over 3 days last weekend.
The president said he will share more with Congress when the new policy rules are complete and made no apologies for taking down the Chinese spy balloon earlier this month.
We shot it down, sending a clear message. The violation of our sovereignty is unacceptable. We'll act to protect our country, and we did.
Biden said he hopes to speak with the Chinese president and get to the bottom of this. The Navy is expected to wrap up its search for remnants of the balloon off the coast of South Carolina today. Nicole D'Antonio, CBS News, the White House.
According to U.S. officials, there's a growing belief the Chinese balloon's initial course was intended to be over Guam and Hawaii, but was blown off course by winds and then crossed over the U.S. mainland. The U.S. labor market remains strong despite some recent high-profile tech layoffs. A report from the Department of Labor shows last week's jobless claims hit a historically low number. It says first-time applications for unemployment benefits fell to 194,000 last week. That's below economists' expectations, and it follows a slight uptick from the week before. The robust labor market is good news for workers, but it could be bad news for interest rates. The world's largest food company says it's raising prices. Nestle says many of its 2,000 brands will get more expensive for consumers this year. Comes after the company raised prices by an average of 8.2% last year. Nestle says those price hikes weren't enough to offset its own costs. But the Switzerland-based food giant has a fine line to balance. High prices can drive consumers away. A little bit later, McDonald County, Missouri 8th graders get a tour of their future high school.
And the cold weather has returned. Is it going to last through the weekend? Well, I'll have the answer to that in your forecast when we come back. Well, winter has returned. The question is it going to stick around for the weekend? We'll get to that in a moment. But first, let's take a look at the map and show you the severe weather that occurred last night. This was more spring-like. than winter, with all the severe weather reports down in southern Delaware County, where there was quite a bit of damage down around Cold Court in Kansas. Those storms continue to move to the north and east, produce lots of hail in and around Benton County, Arkansas. Then it continued to move up to the north and east and clip the southeastern part of Berry County, producing lots of hail there as well. But no hail tonight. Instead, we're seeing cold air take over at Indigo Sky Casino and Resort in Seneca, Missouri. Pretty cold night down there as well. And we've seen temperatures pretty much in the 20s all day today. The high was 39, but that was back at midnight. 27 the low, 50 and 29 are the normals. But look at the range that we can have this time of year. 81 back in 1961, and then 21 minus 15. Quite a change in temperatures this time of year. Of course, that is typical of the 4 states. Radar is all clear right now. We did see some flurries earlier today, especially up towards the north. Temperatures are right now in the 20s, a few 30s sprinkled in like Parsons and Oswego as well as Welch with northerly winds. And we're looking at temperatures much colder tonight than they were last night at this time. In fact, Bella Vista is 33 degrees colder tonight than they were 24 hours ago, but about 6 degrees colder now in Iola than they were 24 hours ago at this time. All right, temperatures, when you factor in the wind, it feels like it's in the teens. A large part of the area, a few 20s sprinkled in, like Veneta with 20, 22, the hot spot in Nowata, but 17 in Yates Center, 15 is what it feels like right now in Iola. How about Joplin? Well, it's 28 degrees, but it feels like 19. That's because the northwest wind at 9 and the pressure is currently rising on the hour. Clouds are going to be decreasing as we go through the overnight hours, and so that's going to allow temperatures to drop into the upper teens and 20s with northerly winds. Then tomorrow, we're going to see lots of sunshine, lighter winds, and temperatures will be reaching up into the lower 40s, mid 40s out towards the west. And then as we go through Friday night into Saturday morning, we're going to see the clouds increase and also the winds pick up too. Lows generally right around freezing. Then in the afternoon, we're going to see the winds really crank up with southerly winds and temperatures in the upper 40s to around 50 degrees. And then Saturday evening, we'll see some sprinkles and some light showers roll through. And then by Sunday morning, we're going to see lows generally in the 30s with those south winds continuing. So on the larger picture, you can see the cold air over us now. That's going to retreat back towards the north as we go through the weekend, and mild air will start to move in. But notice we have another storm system that's going to be dropping into the deserts of the southwest. That will eject out into the plains as we go into Tuesday and Wednesday, and that's when we see our next chance of rain across our area. Over the next 7 days, here's your forecast. Tomorrow, cool, 44, then 51 and windy on Saturday, warmer still on Sunday. And look at that, Dow, 63 on Monday and 62 on Tuesday, and then 64 on Wednesday with the next chance of rain. And then we start to get in towards next weekend where we could have another storm system. So a little bit active in our weather pattern.
We could use a little bit of rain still.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Sam. Nearly 300 8th grade students across McDonald County School District got to tour the high school to get a feel of what high school is like. Students got to visit the Performing Arts Center, Music Center, and other places. School officials say the tour is intended to prepare students for their transition into high school.
The kids seem to be very excited. They're a little nervous when they first get here. You know, they come in a little quieter, but by the end of the day, they go out smiling and excited, and we hope that they get to see maybe a program or a club that they want to be a part of. All of our programs and clubs present so they can see all of the opportunities they have here at the high school.
This tour is one of the many ways to help students feel confident and prepared for the challenges ahead. A McDonald County Project graduation group is hosting a Formal Frenzy fundraiser at McDonald County High School. The event features formal dresses for sale on consignment from individuals along with shoes and jewelry. A small fee will be charged, which will go back to the McDonald Project graduation group.
This is a fundraiser for Project Graduation, which will be an event after graduation that night for kids to have a safe, alcohol-free, and drug-free environment. The girls who sell their dress will get the money from that, but that $10 will go towards Project Graduation.
The group has been raising funds throughout the school year to prepare for the post-graduation event. Still ahead, the Pitt State Gorillas host a conference doubleheader tonight against Fort Hays State, and the Missouri Southern women aim to knock off one of the nation's top 10 teams. Jacob Leonard has those highlights and more next. Well,
both the Pittsburgh State Gorillas and Missouri Southern Lions are at home tonight for MIAA Conference doubleheaders. Pittsburgh State welcomes in the Fort Hays State Tigers, and on the women's side, it's a big one for the Gorillas. Right now, these two teams are 4th and 5th in the MIAA. Gorillas have won 11 of 13 coming into the night. A time winding down first quarter, Sydney Holmes' pull-up jumper rolls home just before the buzzer. Gorillas lead by 11 after the first. Second quarter, good ball movement for Pitt State. Harper Schreiner finds Aaron Davis for 3. Pitt State maintains a 10-point lead at the break. The game gets close here in the third. Lead down to just 4. Tristan Gegg, big 3 to push the lead back to 7. Gegg scores 16. Jenna Shipley, another good night off the bench. Buries the 3 from the right side there in the third. Then fourth quarter, Shipley, good footwork all the time, comes off the bench. She goes 6 for 6 from the field. Finishes with 13. Now 2 minutes to go, Gorillas up 3. Grace Pyle, smooth pull-up. Pyle leads Pitt State with 17. The Gorillas make their free throws down the stretch, hold off Hays tonight 76-66.
That's what we really have worked on all year, is in big games like this. I think we're a mature team, so I think that helps a lot, especially I've gone through the tough games, very tough schedule this year, so we're used to it. And we knew this game was going to be rough, so when people stepped up, I mean, Jenna, she went 6 for 6 tonight. That is huge for us, and just everybody came, knocked down big shots when they needed to.
We've been great offensively, and I think now we're starting to turn it up on defense. Like, we're communicating way better. We're all on the same track, and then that leads to our offensive game opening up even more. So I think when we play well on defense, that just makes everyone more connected, and just we all play better together.
After that, the Pitt State men hit the floor against Fort Hays State, trying to snap a 3-game losing streak. Now down 7 here in the first, they're going to the big man, the freshman. Tane Prichter working in the lane, knocks it down with the left. But Caleb Hammocky, he was a big problem tonight for Fort Hays State, working off the screen. Smooth pull-up jumper there. Hammocky scores 19 for Fort Hays State tonight. Other end, RJ Forney, open in the corner for 3. He knocks it down, but the Gorillas go just 34% from the field tonight. They fall in this one 71-49. As for the Missouri Southern Lions, they're at home tonight against Nebraska Kearney. That's an important one for the Southern women tonight, facing one of the best teams in the MIAA and one of the best in the country. UNK is ranked 10th in the nation and in first place in the MIAA. They beat the Lions by 3 in Kearney in their first meeting. The Lions down big in the first, looking for a spark. Haley Grant, offensive board and the putback. Then into the second, Lions down 19-7. Chrislyn Jones lays it in for 2 and the foul. Lions get within 3 at half. The second half, Jones passes it out to Lane Skiles. Skiles hits the 3. She scores 6. Lions starting to find the rhythm. Caitlin Honeycutt, another 3 for Southern. Honeycutt gets 12 tonight. Lopers lead by 5 in the fourth now, but the Lions sticking around. Maddie Stokes, she scored 13 tonight. 2 in the foul there. They're down just 2 with 5 seconds left. Lacey Stokes with a chance to send it to overtime, but it's just off the rim. Nebraska Kearney wins a nail-biter. Lions fall 58-56.
You know, they're going to compete. They continue to play hard. We continue to do positive things down the stretch. You know, being down 8 or 10 in the start of the fourth quarter, get it back to tied, and had an opportunity to a couple times get right there and take the lead. Just couldn't finish the play on the offense or defensive end. And give them credit. McCool did a great job all night long attacking us, getting to the basket. You know, they're a good team. There's a reason they're ranked 10th in the country.
After that, it's the men's turn. The Lions aim to sweep the season series from the Lopers tonight. First quarter, Lions starting off hot. Christian Bundy stepping out, hits the 3. Goes 2 of 3 from 3 tonight. Avery Taggart here finds Winston Dessaso. Knocks the 3 in. More from him in just a bit. Lions up early 21-16. Dessaso again making the corner 3 here. Monster night. He hits 7 threes. Finishes with 27. Lions get the lead to 38-26. Now here, Dessaso assisting now, finds Parker Long for 3. Long scores 10. And close to the end of the first half, Christian Bundy, another 3 from him. Not a close game tonight. Lions complete the series sweep, winning tonight 86-59. I do want to mention the Pitt State women now 20-5 overall, 15-4 in the MIAA. It's their first 20-win season since 2019.
They're on a roll. We'll be right back. A pig in Alaska gets chauffeured back home in the back of a police car. The chilled piggy was spotted on the side of the road in Fairview, Alaska. Concerned, a local called the police for help. The pig, named Elvis Pigsley, was picked up, taken back home to its family. This police escort back home might have saved Elvis Pigsley's life. According to experts, even the largest of pigs are at risk when temperatures drop below 55 degrees. How do you get a large pig to get into the back of a police car? How do you get the smell of a large pig out of the back of a police car? I do not know the answer to those
When
questions.
you said pig in Alaska, I was thinking of pig in a blanket.
Yes, this one needs a blanket. If you're in
Exactly,
Alaska,
it sure does.
Do we need a blanket around here?
We are. We're going to need a blanket tonight, and it's a 2-dog night with temperatures dropping down into the upper teens and lower 20s. Then tomorrow, cool 44. Next chance of rain arrives by Wednesday, but we get warmer between now and then another storm system next weekend. But plenty of time to worry about that.
Yeah, and plenty of rain chances ahead, and most of the area still needs
Exactly, we
precipitation.
sure do.
Final sports note.
The Pittsburgh State women have now won 12 of their last 14 games. They'll take their shot at 10th ranked Nebraska Kearney at home in just 2 days on Saturday afternoon.
I'll bet Nebraska Kearney is a little bit worried.
I bet they are.
They should be. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget the morning show starts at 5 a.m. Let's make it a great tomorrow.